Hello, thank you for joining me for today's Facebook Live. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia, and this is my regular Sunday Facebook Live. This is the card that we're going to be making today. This is one of those cards where I've had this embossing folder for quite a while, haven't got round to using it, and now that I have used it, I'm going, why haven't I used this before? So expect to see lots more cards from me using this. Let's have a quick run through of the products that I'm using. So first up, star of the card is this sunflower embossing folder. And then I'm using the Blooming Phrases for the sentiment. And another one that sat around for a while and now I can't stop using it is the You Are Remarkable stamp set. And you may be wondering where I've used that. Here on the inside. I think that it is a bit more of a daisy than a sunflower, but change the colour and it can be whatever flower you like. So for me, this is a sunflower. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so let's get started with today's card. I'm changing it slightly. I'm going to do Granny Apple Green for my base instead of the Daffodil Delight. Just thought it might look nice with the green, and that's big for me because green is not my go-to colour. I have embossed my early espresso. Now, as you maybe noticed, this is one of those massive embossing folders. So you can play around and position it wherever you want. This time I've actually positioned my cardstock, if I put it the right way, if I turn the embossing folder the right way maybe. So there we go, there it is. So down the bottom over here, and it has embossed that way, but it's not going to make any difference, and I'm going to turn it portrait rather than landscape. And what I'm going to do is, with my white stamp pad, we're going to just take the stamp pad and on the embossed side, so where my image is popping up out of the card, I'm just going to rub this stamp pad over. Looks like my pad could have been a little bit more inky than it is, but that's okay. I'll just go over it a few times because I wanted to cover that white, but I'm not pressing hard, okay? I wanted to cover the bits that are popping up. I don't want it to get too much, and I see it's happening over there on those down pieces. Maybe just a little bit more in the corner over here. And I'm going to call that good. All right. Now what we're going to do is take some blending brushes and some inks. So I'm going to use Crumb Cake, Granny Apple Green and Daffodil Delight. And just move this card out of the way just because I could make a mess and I don't want to get it over there. So pick up some of your Daffodil Delight and we're going to go over the petals. Now you can make this as dark or as light as you like. And just be aware that sometimes the colour does seep in a little bit, so what I'm going to do is do this and then we'll come back to it and just see if I want to make it darker. That should be okay for the moment. And then I'm going to go Granny Apple Green for the leaves. is fading a bit, but I'm going to just leave it for a minute. And then this time I'm going to use crumb cake. I used pecan pie on my original, but I think that I'm going to see if we can get slightly lighter with the crumb cake for the center. Alright, and I'm definitely going back and we need to add more colours. Sorry, I hate doing too much repetition on my lives, but this definitely needs added colour here. Like I said, it doesn't have to be very dark, but I definitely do want that yellow showing up as yellow and not too faded. And I'm going to add a bit more green as well and hope that that yellow is not going to fade too much more. Let me put that aside for a moment and we're going to just stamp the insert, and then I'll decide if we need to add some more of the colour before we put the card together. It's looking like it's not too bad. Alright, so I'm going to stamp my flower into the corner of my insert. And then this has those fill-in stamps, so it makes it really easy to colour it in. Of course, you could use your blends, but I'm going for easy. I just need to line it up and not get my head in camera. And yep, not too bad. It is quite forgiving, so if it isn't stamped exactly, that's okay. And you can see it is that distinctive stamp, so it gives you your lighter and darker in the center. And then this one, you want to get the stem lined up. Looks good-ish, maybe. And I'm just going to stamp the center in my crumb cake. Okay, now let's just have another little look at. Alright, sorry. If you're watching this on replay, you can just fast forward this, but I definitely just want to go one more bit of yellow and green here. Just want those flowers to pop a little bit more. Maybe next time what I'll do, which may be quite interesting, I'll make the card and just post it, is actually do my embossing on crumb cake. And then it might show up a little bit better with the colouring. It'll look more like the water wash on the crumb cake. It's a little bit paler than this. Okay. And final touch, let's just put a little bit more crumb cake in the center. Alright, I'm going to call that good. Now we're going to stick that onto our Granny Apple Green card base. Just this is quite wet because I have put a fair bit of ink onto it. Just checking how much ink I've got onto my fingers because I don't particularly want inky fingerprints on my insert. Now, I've stamped my sentiment and heat embossed it. That stamp set does have some really nice sentiments. You've got that just because, pull that one back in that I used in that one. This one I used Celebrate because I figured that could be a birthday sentiment. It does have birthday, but it's just the birthday, and then I think the happy, there we go, the happy is separate, so I just wanted one strip, not two, but you could have two strips if you wanted happy birthday, or a thicker strip and stamp them one above each other. And you've got that hello and thanks. So lots of useful sentiments in here, and these ones work really well for this card because they're long and skinny. And then we're going to stick that on with dimensionals. And again, you can position that wherever you like. Now, I could use the yellow dots, but I thought maybe green dots with the green card. So these are the ones that I used on that one. I think they're called the low profile sparkle dots. But then I thought I had my traditional sparkling sequins, and those green looked like they could work really well with the Granny Apple Green. So maybe we're going to just use this green. And just another couple anywhere where it looks like there's a bit of a dot. Okay, so that's our two cards in the two different colors. And like I said, I really like this embossing folder. You can see here where I've used the different positions, so my flowers are different. I think that ink pad was a lot whiter. I need to go re-ink this one as well. Like I said, I will do the card in crumb cake and I'll post it. You can let me know which one you prefer, the early espresso or the crumb cake. And I won't be doing the live next week. I'm not going to be here for the weekend. It's my mum's birthday, so we're going to be doing something special with her. So I will see you again in 2 weeks' time. Have a great 2 weeks, and I will see you then. Until then, bye for now.